Hello and greetings. My name is Shua, and I am the host and founder of a podcast called Light Up with Shua. It's a weekly podcast on conscious living and parenting. So I hope you have already subscribed to it. And if you haven't, please do so. Thank you, Sadia, for being here. Thank you for taking
You're
out
welcome,
time.
Shua.
And please introduce yourself to our audience with your full name and what do you do?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is
Walaikum
Sadia Atif. I'm registered behavior technician, clinical psychologist, autism intervention specialist, and founder at Step Ahead.
Oh, wonderful. And did you educate yourself all in Pakistan, and how did you do that?
Well, I have joined this field on compassionate ground. I was a very sensitive person by nature, and I was very concerned about my parents as well. I have a brother, he is 21 years old, he is autistic, and he is the main reason why today I am in this field and why I'm working with these families and with the kids as well. Okay, well, when we talk about autism, we always talk about neurodiversity. So we will talk about neurodiversity. Neurodiversity is basically a variation in the human brain regarding attention, regarding learning, regarding socialization, and other mental functions in a non-pathological sense. So, as I told you that after 18, we start our vocational training. So that is a part of his program that now he is not under the interventions as we cater with the early interventions and with 10 years or 12 years, because ultimately we have to introduce these kids with the vocational training as well. Early intervention is a golden key.
And what is your experience so far? Are you tired of it? Do you want to continue with it? No?
Not at all.
Okay.
I told you that I have joined this field on compassionate ground.
Yes.
There is a difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yes.
So I have empathy.
Wow.
I don't believe in sympathy for these guys, because you have one thing in your mind, and that is you have to change a life. You have to change. If you will change the life of that kid, or if you will change the life of that child, changing the life of whole family. The whole family is involved in the process. The whole family is involved in the intervention process.
Yeah. Okay, so is there a way to find out earlier before the child is born about autism?
There are several factors involved. It could be the genetic factor, it could be the environmental factor, but still the cause is unknown. There is no sure cause for autism. That's why we say that it's a neurodevelopmental disorder.
How can you, I'm sure, what are your challenges in this work? Let's start with that.
Well, if I talk about the challenge, the biggest challenge is the awareness in the society, because our society is not at all accepting our children the way they are. If you can take them to park, if you will take them to the mall, the other children or the parents who are, they are having fun with their children, they will look at your child like this. Oh, why he is behaving like this, and why he is like this. So you cannot answer every time. You cannot label your child every time that he has autism. So the awareness is the biggest hindrance. And it is the need of the time as well, that we have to create the awareness in our society.
What do you suggest from your experience? How can we bring the awareness, and how can an average person learn about this issue?
The first step is to educate ourselves. For example, I have my two kids. My son is 11 years and my daughter is 9 years. And they have seen their mamu, my brother. They have seen him growing up and, everything, like what we are doing with him and all that. So they have a sense of responsibility at this age. We have to educate ourselves, we have to educate our children, and we have to, educate our society as well.
How? Are there any ideas? Because you are in it. So I'm asking you that where can we learn about it?
See, if I talk about myself, my own experience, then I have placed myself on that spot a lot of times. For example, we can educate our youth. We can educate the youngster in the universities. We can educate the preschool teachers, because they don't know that what is autism.
Yeah. So I think your suggestion is to start early in schools, right?
Yes.
And
as early as possible.
I think anywhere, especially educational institutes and doctors can educate. I mean, all those places that we can think can educate their patients, their surrounding. Maybe doctors should have some kind of workshop. So, do you also conduct any parent or children or youth? Just asking, what do you do? Like, do you go to schools to educate, or do they come to you, or like, how do you manage that part, or do you not have any time to do that?
Today there is a gap in the generation, the past generation and this generation. Parents have a gap with their children as well. This is very easy to give the gadgets to our children and keep, ask them to use this for 1 hour, for 2 hours, and there is no check. There is no check at all.
So you suggest that there should be a check?
Yes, there should be a check. There should be a time limit as well. Because if I'm going to hand over the iPad or the tab to my kids, that is a one-way communication. They are only listening. They are not talking.
Yeah.
So that is a barrier in the communication. If we talk about the children who have speech disorder, so the main reason is this, that we are providing them the facilities where they can only listen. They will not put any effort in speaking.
Okay, all right.
If they are playing a game, that is not physical. That is not a physical game at all. They are just playing on the gadgets and they are using their fingers and everything.
Thank you.
But they are not, there's nothing verbal in it. He's not communicating anything.
So it is important for parents to interact and do the activities in which you have both two-way communication.
Yes, the parents should have a play-based therapy, play-based, there are lots of things which are based on the play, and the mother can play with his child.
Were you afraid when you were going to have children about this condition? Were you careful, or did you not know at that time when you had children, when you were ready to become a mother?
No, I had knowledge about this, but I was not at all afraid about that because I love children and I was very much excited that I'm pregnant and I'm going to, I will have a baby, and my feeling was totally different.
Okay, good. So how do you spend time with your children? Do you get time? How old are your children?
My son is 11 years and my daughter is 9 years old.
And you treat them both equally?
Yes, equally.
Okay. What is one thing that you can suggest, or one or two things that you can suggest parents in Pakistan that they can do from your experience that can be a positive effect at an early age?
Yes. To spend more time with their kids, to talk their children frequently, talk about them, talk about their routine, what they have done at school, how they are feeling at home, what they want to change in their routine. So talk about to your children about everything, and I mean everything.
Yeah, about
learn it from internet because Google is there. They will go and Google it on Mr. Google, and the Google will show them everything with images and plus so on. So that is much better if we will educate our children on our own.
Which role is more comfortable for you, as being a mother or being a teacher?
Both. When the parents come to me and they ask and discuss about the problem of their neurodiverse children, I always give them the example of my own kids who are neurotypical children. I told them that there is not a very big deal if your child is throwing a tantrum, because usually the typical children are also throwing the tantrum. And there is a strategy, there is a procedure of positive reinforcement, or you can say positive behavior support, with the help of which we can teach our children, even neurotypical children.
Okay.
We always go and we Google about the success stories that are happening in US, that are happening in UK. We forget about the success stories which are happening in Pakistan as well.
Yes, that's why I'm talking to you. Because your attitude.
I am sitting here.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here leaving behind UK and everything. I'm sitting here in Pakistan in front of you to facilitate all the families in Pakistan.